So that little intro buys me like 5 seconds to copy the link, and that way I can share. Oh shit, we got some people already in the chat. What's up? Or already in the house. What's up, guys? All right. Guys, if you're watching this and it's not live, go ahead and skip forward like a minute or so. We'll begin the podcast. I always have to send out the link, so it takes me a second here. But we got Mr. Ryan Hodge on the channel today. It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. All right.
GM.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. Crypto Goonz. Cool. All right. Got it on Twitter. I just tagged you. I'm going to put it in my Discord too. Make sure everyone's aware. Boom. Fire. Okay. I'm all set on my side.
Same here, man.
Cool. All right. And we are live. We got some people in the chat. What's up? Hey, Devin. All right, so I heard you. I heard you. We can go ahead and start now. I'm sure people will trickle in. But I heard you met up with my buddy Devin, who runs Artisan Labs, the wrist rest company. This one.
Oh wait, what? Yes.
Yeah, he's like my best friend. He's the admin for my Discord. He literally helped me in the very beginning set up all my shit.
Oh, that's so sick. Yeah, I've been like a total keyboard nerd for, I don't know, whatever, maybe like 5+ years, and like slowly started my way out, like did the whole thing, and then finally, spent all the money and went like with actually a really nice board and a nice GMK keycap set. And I was like, dude, I used to have a nice wooden wrist rest for like this old Leopold that I had, and I was like, I need a custom cable. And he like out of nowhere slid in, and I was like, wait, what? Yes, let's do this. Like, take my ETH, please. Like, just send me some stuff.
Well, dude, here's the crazy part. So this is actually a perfect little intro here. Is he's the one who got me into your project in the very beginning, just like hearing about it. I had, obviously there's so many projects out there. There's no way I could keep track of all of them. But a while ago, I think you had followed me on Twitter. I had seen I think that was the very first time I saw your project. I had just clicked on it and I was like, oh, really cool art. That was the first thing I thought. I remember thinking that. And then Devin was like, yo, I'm starting to become a DGen. Like I finally am in whatever. Like I'm obsessed with NFTs. And he goes, here's a project I'm really fucking excited about. And he showed me and I was like, crypto. And I was like, where the hell have I seen that before? And I was like, oh my God. And so then we looked, and this kid when he gets obsessed, he gets obsessed. And when I get obsessed, I get obsessed. So like I've been here at Crypto Goonz every other day. And then I was like, yo, maybe me and Ryan can set something up. So we're gonna try and bring you guys something. I appreciate everyone being in the chat. We got a good bit of people in the house right now. What's up, y'all? How's it going? Giovanni, what's up? Patrick, what's up? Cool. So yeah, guys, welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. I'm Cage, your guide. I'll be replacing the voice I dread for now, giving you a break from the constant internal monologue that is the human mind. I want to say first, thank you for listening or viewing whatever platform you're on. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom, follow Ryan on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. We have a super exciting episode today. He is the project developer, and I'm sure he has a million other jobs with the Crypto Goonz NFT project. I'm sure if you're watching this, I'm sure you've heard of the project. Super awesome project. I'm really excited to talk to you today. Dude, Ryan, will you tell me exactly why NFTs? There's so many different industries you could be in. There's so many jobs you could be in. Why are we in this gold rush together? How'd you get in here?
Yeah, I think gold rush is probably a really good term and a phrase, but like I think it's so much more than that. And the verbiage gold rush definitely implies like people looking to get rich and trying to come up. And like, yeah, we see that every day, and a lot of people are going to fail, right? During that gold rush, a lot of people just didn't make. I mean, you want to get real drastic, people died, right? Like trying to trying to get to the next spot, right? But like in the sense of the Web3 space, like right now, I think it's just like sifting out a lot of the bad actors, sifting out a lot of the people who are here really just to leverage quick ETH or obtain quick ETH and kind of with some of these just like poorly thought out quote unquote projects. But I think the base or the root of your question was like, why NFTs? And I truly do believe that they have long term utility or long-term value going forward. And the few and far will succeed for sure. I truly think that if you look at founding teams, what they've done in their previous lives, whether that was in Web3 or in Web2, and you look at a dev team and ensure that they're a real dev team and have
Yeah.
true backgrounds and experience, like those are the types of teams that you want to invest in. And everything else, in all honesty, is probably just somebody trying to flip for point two. If they get lucky, it's probably 0.1 after fees and gas and
Yeah.
missing tops. So, but yeah, I can continue to be bullish on NFTs and like the actual utility. I mean, some of the exclusivity that you'll get just from holding an NFT can be an event pass, and it doesn't have to be this whole PFP or one of one art, that you see today. I think that's just kind of like the first iteration. But you will see a lot more of it truly being an event pass. If you hold the digital rights to an album, that counts as a ticket for every time you want to go see that artist play, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if that's at a beautiful venue in Colorado or some small punk venue in Southern Orange County or whatever it might be, right? So lots of things, and that's just like one small example.
Yeah. Well, with the NFTs, I think after a certain while, if you've been in this space for a minute now, you probably have gone through the degen phase. You went through the whole I don't know what I'm doing phase, and then you start to be like, oh, you know what? I kind of got a grasp of it. You kind of start to look past what NFT projects are in the eyes of a degen, which is just buy picture, sell picture, probably lose money. And you start to look at a little bit more on the technology side and the development side and brand side of like where are these projects headed. And there's only a handful of projects that I've even gotten the vibe of, hey, these guys even bother to care about pushing this as a brand forward, brand focused. We're focusing on these things, we're focusing the story. The reason I even wanted to talk to you is because I was so impressed at the amount of work you guys have put in on that sector, just building the brand, building the name, because not a lot of projects are prioritizing that. And you guys are, it looks like at least the focus is to be like, yo, we are so excited to be part of the Goon gang. And like people who are in there are just, they want to be holders. They want to be in the project. And there's too many projects right now where the people are in there to make the buck, to make the money. It's not about being a holder. And that's the problem, is that's only going to last until the market crashes. And then people aren't going to care because they're going to be like, well, you're not making me money, so why would I be part of the project? And if you built the brand, you put in that hard work in the beginning, front loaded all that, you won't have to worry about that when the bear market comes, because you'll have that support network of however many people who are going to be scooping up the floor every time it hits a certain number. We have that with my project. If it hits a certain number, it's always going to get gobbled up. And so it's a great thing, and you guys are killing it in that sector. And I think Gary V, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary V found you guys way early on in the process. And I had no idea. I just found that out.
We were unique standards, and when I say today's, like, I mean, we minted out not even like 80 days ago or something like that, which seems like an eternity in
I
this
can pull that
space.
up,
But
actually.
we had a very slow mint.
Yeah.
It took us 3-4 weeks to go from 0% to 100%, and I think that was a really big win. And I think that's something that we get to celebrate as a community, where we did organically grow. And yes, there were some very large names. And look, I'll put it out there. Like, I have a Twitter following, so like for me to like, you could technically say maybe I was an influencer of some sort, but like it's not not when I'm putting my name and my stake behind
Yeah.
behind everything, right? So like, yeah, people like Gary, people like Banks, people like DZ, Jay Fells. I mean, you name it. A lot of people, sharp money, sharp action, good collectors, people of influence, whatever you want to call it. They didn't really come into play until it was Gary and then Banks. But even Banks was like, yeah, Banks minted, but didn't say anything. We just
Yeah.
tracked his
Yeah.
wallet and
Yeah.
saw that he minted, and he didn't. He just kind of like replied in a comment, and
It's
then
crazy though.
DZ, yeah, Deez discovered it, and then Banks was like, "Oh, if Deez is in, all right, now I'm willing to like put my public brand behind it and also say it." So he
Mhm.
put us on his Instagram story, and we went from
Wow.
50% to 100% minted out in like 2 hours. I mean, it was just it was insane. Like we weren't ready for it. We were still
Yeah.
working on executing a few things on our roadmap, from like the 40% and 50% mark. So it was
Damn.
fun for sure.
Yeah, what was that like at that initial just like explosion? Because I had the same thing happen with my NFT project is it's not a project. It's my NFT art pieces that are like sort of my access keys, very similar to VFriends, but there's a very 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 small amount. But I had the same thing happen where I sold a couple, nothing really happened. I was still kind of working on building my name and stuff. And then Fidel, who's a big prominent NFT photographer in the space, ended up finding my project, really liked it, shilled it for me. He was like, "Yo, I like this project. I bought a couple." Instantly sold out. And I remember being in the car. I
Yeah.
was living in my car at the time in a parking lot, door dashing, and I was just like, email pops up. It's like, "Bing, OpenSea, you've made a sale." And I was like, "Oh my god, I made a sale." And then I was like, "Bing, bing, 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 sold out." And I was just like, "Holy crap, holy crap!" Setting up my Discord ads, and I'm like making sure everything is good. Like, what was that like when someone the stature of Banks? If you guys don't know who Banks is, he's one of I don't even. He's a king of the internet, I guess we could say. He's one of the kings of like one of the biggest gamers, one of the OG people. He started FaZe Clan. Very, very prominent figure in the social space. What was that even like?
I think for me personally, I bet on esports regularly, right? And I've been playing Call of Duty for 10 plus years, probably longer than that. So like seeing somebody who I've followed from that phase of my life, no pun intended with FaZe Clan, um,
That
was
was
just
good.
it was so rad. I mean, it was just so
Yeah,
cool. There was definitely a little bit of fanboy in me, just like, no way, he just put us on his Instagram page, right? And
that's
then like,
crazy.
and then the rush of just like, holy shit, we just minted out. Like that was he tweeted something and we minted out, and then it was like time to execute.
Yeah,
Like we just accelerated. We got our funding. Now it's time to execute on this global brand mission statement that we have had as part of our roadmap and part of what we want to accomplish with brand building. And so
yeah,
those things take time too. Like the NFT space literally moves a mile a minute. But to get your streetwear and your apparel in 220 storefronts globally then doesn't happen over the course of a day. Those things take months and months of partnerships. And so we
mhm,
were excited to finally announce that we've executed that. We were finally excited to talk about releasing our pilot for our cartoon and our animated series. I mean,
yeah.
these are things that like take lots and lots of time to execute. So it
And you
was
guys are being transparent
it's a
about that.
lot.
Like I've heard you guys talk about that. You're like, "Hey, it's just gonna take a minute," but you guys are just saying it in a way where it's not like it doesn't sound scammy. There's projects where they say that, and you're like, "No, you guys just aren't. You guys just aren't working on it. You're literally just not doing anything." There's so many projects
Yeah.
who say these things. They've got the little roadmap. They paid a couple Fiverr artists to make something cool, but they're not doing anything. And I watched on that live stream that you guys did on YouTube about a month ago, where you guys gave away some merch and some goons and stuff. We got to see your artist fucking drawing live on, and that was the coolest thing because for me, I'm an artist. I'm a big NFT art collector, so to watch that happen was really really cool. You guys are interacting. You guys are pushing the brand. You're talking to your community. Um, what was I gonna ask? With the Goonz, when Banks had first showed your project, when Gary had bought the project, and people found out that these some bigger influencers came in, just because I saw a couple of comments talking about it. How much did that change the trajectory of the project as far as milestones? Did they come closer? They're much faster now because of those pump ups, or did anything really change?
No, when we modeled some things out and we looked at our projection based off of historicals when we were minting out, we as we were doing our slow mint, um, did things get accelerated? Sure, but maybe by 3 weeks. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it didn't we didn't pay anyone to do anything, so it's not like we were ready for it or anticipating, right? So it was like, oh, this happened out of nowhere all of a sudden. Okay, I guess we can accelerate a few different things. But at the end of the day, our vision and our mission statement of delivering great art, great experiences through animations, working on there's a reason that very early on, we partnered with Chop Studio, who's worked with Adult Swim and Rick and Morty and Billie
Yeah.
Eilish, and like an absolutely amazing studio, not just an animator, but like a full-fledged studio, art director, background, all of that, because we knew early on we wanted to create a series. We wanted to, people to be able to engage with their goons. So like, it didn't accelerate a whole lot because it maybe put us a month ahead of schedule. Like,
Yeah.
I guess in the NFT space, that's a really long time. But like, no, we were very confident that our art was going to sell and our community was going to slowly, build. And it did. It took us almost a month to mint out. If a
Yeah.
project takes more than 4 hours to mint out, it's considered a failure today. And this was 100 plus days ago. So like,
Mhm.
we're well past that pump influencer stage of our life,
Mhm.
with the goons, and we're well into the nice sideways action, prices being scooped up when they get too low, showing floor resistance, people being engaged, us executing on our roadmap 2.0, us doing non-dilutive V2 of our collection with amazing uh, uh, non-dilutive technology or a non-dilutive contract that Jesse, our engineer, who's an ex Disney Plus and HBO Now engineer, is just like super sharp. And
Yeah.
the world that lives in Sean's mind, our artist, is out. You should see some of the stuff that he just drops and sends us. It's absolutely amazing.
Does he
As
do
you
one of
know,
ones? Does he just drop one of ones anywhere just for fun, like the some
nah,
others do?
he's very focused on building this brand right now. So I think once we get through this new generative collection for V2 with the portal,
Mhm.
we could definitely look to see if Sean wants to maybe do a couple different one of ones, but Sean is far more likely to airdrop those to holders than he is to put it on super rare
I
and
love that.
try and
I love
make
that.
10 ETH off of it, right? So like,
Yeah.
and that's where our focus is. And so like, part of our roadmap is introducing staking, and you're going to get to redeem for physical art from Sean. Sean has done amazing painting. Sean has done amazing custom rugs. Sean has done amazing collages on skateboards. Or you're going to get to redeem it for an NFT that Sean creates, right? And we airdrop it to you. Like, we would rather be doing that for our community and our holders and continuing to add value, rather than Sean take 3 weeks to do something beautiful and put it on Rarible or super, whatever the platform might be, and auction it off for 12 ETH. And like,
Yeah.
that's, I'm sure Sean will do that later on, but like right now we're very focused on building for our holders.
That's dope, dude. It sounds like you guys know each other pretty well. How did you guys come together as a team? How'd that happen?
All through the internet. I didn't know any of these people in real life. I didn't know any of these people before discovering the project. Like, Sean and Joel, the two co-founders, were just like, put their art out on the blockchain, created a project, did kind of your run of the mill
Mhm.
standard NFT playbook roadmap. And when I discovered the project, I was like, there's so much potential here. If we
Yep.
just do a couple things differently and we look at doing it this way. And that's where, I kind of knew Jesse Friedland through, a network of people who's our lead engineer, and so we looked to hire him when we kind of ran into a snafu, and he has been
Mhm.
one of the best hires that I've made in any career or in any
Yeah.
job of my professional career. Uh, Dude is just absolutely sharp. So
Hell yeah. Well, I definitely want to get into the team and the roadmap and with Cryptoons, but since you mentioned that about your hiring one of your best works, I was wondering what your experience was before, or not your experience. What kind of stuff you were doing before? Because I'm gonna share something with you. I don't know if you know this because I saw you're from Texas, or at least you've been to Texas or something.
I'm in Austin.
And
I live in Austin.
okay, I saw your workout shit, and I just got Nick Bear vibes. I don't know if you know this guy, but I got Nick
Of
Bear
course, I know
vibes at
Nick
least.
Bear.
Okay, fuck yeah. I was hoping you would, but he's a dope dude. I got the same mentality as far as I don't know, style or vibe or something that you guys had that was similar? What kind of stuff were you doing before?
Yeah, so I've been in the Web 2 tech industry startups for the last 10 plus years, working for Apple, working for small startups in Austin, helping grow teams, scale teams, hire, lead people. I founded a couple online companies and sold them. And yeah, as Matt just put in the chat, cold showers and DFS grinding on Sunday morning was
Yes.
kind of my
Hell yeah, man.
previous past. But yeah, lots of sports speculating, gambling, trying to find edges in daily fantasy sports. I told you, like, I still bet on esports regularly. I've got action going on another monitor over here, so a lot. You definitely just like in a lot and all. Like, I've got 3 kiddos. I've been married for 13 years. Yeah, coming
Wow.
up on 14. So
Goddamn.
like, doing the dad life. I've got a daughter who absolutely smashes club volleyball. So we travel
Hey, let's
all
go.
over the place. Houston, Dallas, other states for club volleyball. My boys in jujitsu. But yeah,
Nice.
the Nick Bear stuff, man. I mean, I follow his workout routine. I take my greens
Let's
every
go.
day. So
Let's
like
go.
he's great. Insane mentality. Like, for all the people listening, give that podcast a listen. He does some great
Yeah.
stuff, or read his book if you're ever looking to just get motivated.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. Tell me, has your kids been hyped about this? I saw a video of someone who had bought a Bored Ape and let his daughter click the buy button, and I was like, man, that is crazy. Like, are your kids involved? Your family involved at all?
I mean, the word involved is probably pretty loose, right? But
Yeah.
I think to an extent, like, yeah, I've got a couple of my goons framed, and they're in their room, and like my son
Hey.
likes to look through the collection, and my middle boy really wanted an Oculus Rift, and
Mhm.
like, yeah, I could just go get him one because he got good grades or whatever. But like I said, you need to earn it. Educate me on something. Pick a topic. And so I said, pick NFTs or the blockchain or uh, some type of Web3 foundational piece, right? And so we went with
Mhm.
NFTs, and he did this whole presentation. I think I tweeted it out. It's on my Twitter somewhere, lost
Yeah.
in the interwebs. But yeah, they're involved to an extent. My daughter wears our clothing to school every once in a while. She's super into the
Nice.
clothes, so she likes the sweats. She was wearing them yesterday, actually. So
Well, I mean, that was honestly when I first saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, let me take a second look at this project. The streetwear, I feel like the streetwear only works with certain styles of art to scale at least to a point where you're like, that is a streetwear brand, and you do need a certain kind of art. I feel like certain kinds just maybe won't work as well. But the art is dope, and I definitely could see the in real life merge between Web3 and digital life, airdropping, and maybe you guys do some kind of like future thing where your goon can swap out his shirt for something else, whatever. But the in real life merge there is like the key. You gotta be able to bridge that gap for it to become real. Like I've sent some of my holders the Joyage hat. I don't know where it is, but I have like a Joyage hat for my brands. And when you get that in the mail and you're holding someone else's brand that you're part of and you see it right in your hands, that's a totally different mindset than you just having it on the blockchain. It is cool to have on the blockchain, but to have a hoodie or a shirt or a hat or something is really, really cool. I wanted to switch
uh,
gears to the roadmap 2.0 because I know some people are in here are itching to hear about that. So I think I got it pulled up here. Did that work?
yep, I can
I
see
do
it.
it. Okay. Oh, wow, wrong one. Okay, so you guys have Roadmap 2.0, Goonz on the Move. This is pretty exciting. I liked the way it was set up. You guys have your portal thing, which we can get into in a second. You guys are having the official second drop. They have the Goonz collection coming up, some in real life events. This is something that Devin was super pumped about. He was like, we're both going to Texas anyway. Like, just get a freaking Goon. We can go to this thing. And I was like, oh shit. You guys doing the streetwear brand. You guys just have a bunch of cool stuff. You have figurines coming up. Do you want to talk about some of the things that you're most excited about, maybe more personally that you're excited about?
Yeah, I would say, like, for me, if I were to kind of recap it or sum it up, like,
Yeah.
our clothing being in a global retailer with like 220 plus storefronts is such an amazing win. The team has worked so hard on that. The partnerships that we've formed since before we minted out to continue doing to just work extremely hard on ensuring that we're putting out a quality product. And look, like, our first drop, like, we we learned a lot of lessons, right? And so we're going to learn from some of those mistakes, but we also had some amazing wins
Yeah.
throughout that drop too. So I think we're just learning and growing as a team there, and all of those things are coming to fruition. So like that is something that I'm very, very excited about. You'll always hear me, and this is something that I think I've really tried to push and just really ingrain in our founding team and our vision going forward as we continue to hire and scale. But like bridging the gap between physical and digital is like always something that I'll continue to push here. And so the other piece of that is staking for um to redeem physicals. Like I said, paintings, carpets, arts, skate decks, whatever it might be. And then the IRL events, like, yeah, it's a pass. You want to come drink on the house and meet and get to see other people and meet other people in the NFT space and do fun activations where you get to, well, like, yeah, whatever. You're gonna leave with a goodie bag with a hat and some enamel pins and like kind of like expectations, right? But like
Mhm.
also let's put some really great art up on the wall. That might be digital through, some sort of a frame, or that might be some of the stuff that Sean or other artists have created. And we might have something that's like super interactive where you get to make something with your hands and leave. And like, I'm not talking about like doing like clay potting or ceramic, like super
Yeah.
in depth, but like, we're looking to do really fun interactive things that get you engaged. And it's all, I'll use the word free. It's all free
Right.
with your token. Now, the reason I do free in air quotes is because you paid for the token. Like
Sure.
nothing's free, right? But you get the idea. And so long as you're holding that token, like you'll always have access to the events that we're
Mhm.
doing. And then animated cartoon series, I'm super stoked on watching these goons come to life and putting
Yeah.
backgrounds and voices and funny little isms behind them, and just like, you should, in our Discord, we are a community driven brand. We
Mhm.
have literally hundreds of submissions for these background stories behind our goons, where we've let all of our community members and holders create stories and lore behind traits and their, maybe multiple traits and kind of what their goon is. So like, don't worry
Mhm.
about doing a screen share on it, but
Okay.
like, it's just, there's literally, I can just continue scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And this is something that we launched like 2 weeks ago. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, the community is so engaged and so excited. And then the non-dilutive project too, like the technology that Jesse's whipping up with the smart contract. I keep calling it portal technology, like it's super lame, but I just think it's super fun. So I'm very excited about non-dilutive. A lot of projects just release another 10,000 PFPs, and like,
Mhm.
I think that works for some, and I think it's a horrible idea for others. So for us, I just did not think that it was a good idea, and us keeping value behind the original token is something that I really want to hold strong as we continue to create a global brand.
Yep, I agree. I was
Whether
I was actually excited
Yeah.
to hear you guys say that. I heard you mention that, and I was like, "That's baller thinking right there." It makes sense. I mean, if you have the Genesis collection and the OG supporters are in there, I think that's the way to do it for a lot of projects. Actually, I don't know if a companion project is the answer for most projects. I just think they don't know what else to do. When they get to that, they're like, okay, well, not now what? And the difference is, like when you said, like these in real life events and going to bars and hanging out and having this as your token, that doesn't work unless people are stoked to be in the project because they're able to center around some kind of core message. Like with my brand, the Joyage
Mhm.
Kingdom, to be a Joyager, people know what that brand is. They believe in that, in the brand. So if we were to ever have an in real life event, there's already a commonality of the Joyage brand that people all have their own reasons for wanting to be in the brand. But that's one thing they can all latch onto. And if your brand doesn't have that, you're screwed. You do a near life event and like people show up and they don't know what to say because they don't have anything in common and there's no brand to get around. And you guys have put that forward, and that's why these things will work. And you guys talking about that, I'm saying, hey, you guys are OG supporters. We want to put you on a pedestal because y'all are beasts, y'all are epic. And to have that mentality for the owners and the founders, and also for the supporters to know that you guys are thinking of that way and you guys hold them to that stature, that's dope. I really like that.
Well, thank you. We're excited about the vision and what we're executing on. So I just think very excited about, and it's so much more like, sorry to not soapbox here, but like, your real life identity will always reflect your digital identity, right? Or in
Mhm.
some way, shape, or form. And so doing a PFP project that's static and you can't change doesn't
Mhm.
allow people to adapt to who they are in 4 years. So if you really think about long term, us having non-dilutive downloadable content, if you will, that allows you to adapt and change and become something different, but keep your original token, your original goon, but also adapt in 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
what if we do end up hiring a AAA studio to create some insane Mario Kart-esque type game? Well, we can now do digital content where you get like, maybe we don't do go-karts and maybe we do like those big wheelers. You remember those old school like three
Yep.
wheelers that kids had or whatever? What if we make
Yeah.
those like really fun and you can assign different traits to them? The non-dilutive stuff that we're doing and the tech that Jesse's working on in the contract, and like, it's just wrapped ETH, okay? Like, it's just
Mhm.
wrapped. Um, it's nothing super crazy or insane, but I think it's new to a lot of people. The doodles are doing it, so like go look and see what the doodles are doing,
Mhm.
and like if there's a sharp team to tail on maybe what their vision is and what they're doing, I think Evan and team over there are fantastic. So
Yeah.
just very excited to be adaptable and
Yeah.
truly building a brand that is built for the next 25, 30, 40 years.
And if you can
Not
have that mentality like you
yeah.
guys have, you don't even in fast forward 2, 3 years, maybe you're working on something, you're in the middle of a project, you're super pumped about it, and then AAA Studios hits you up and says, "Hey, we know you guys were thinking about doing a game, but we already have a game. We just rather have you guys be in it." And that only
Yeah.
happens if you built the name enough, and you guys are doing that. And that's where I told a lot of projects that are making indie level video games right now. I'm like, look, like no one's gonna play your game. I'm like, I'm sorry, no one wants to play your game, and let's just play to earn, and they can make $1 million tomorrow. No one wants to play, and so I think if you're able to focus on the brand, which you guys are, then that's definitely the answer because that's where we're headed. I mean, everyone wants to have the game, everyone wants to have the movie, they want to have the TV show, but realistically, you can't do all of them all at once, especially right now because people want them within the next 30 to 40 days. Otherwise, most people are out, and you guys can bide your time. I talk about this in a lot of my videos. You guys can bide your time by making content because people forget that content and entertainment is value. You can provide value by having the TV show. You can provide value by doing little drops and doing some exclusive collections because that gives people something to latch onto for a little bit. And they have to have some kind of short-term thing to be able to last the long term. But people forget, that TV show is going to be absolutely ridiculous for your brand. It's going to be insane because people are going to see it.
Right.
It's going to be high level because you're not going to release it unless it's not. And other projects are going to be like, oh fuck, no, we should do that. But the difference is, there's only a handful of projects that are going to be leading that charge. That are going to be innovating. That's why I'm a big fan of projects that are doing things fun, innovative, that are new, that other projects aren't doing yet. Because you get to say, hey, we can literally prove it on the blockchain that we were first. We did this first. We
Yeah.
led this movement. And if you're leading the movement, bro, if you're Invisible Friends, and you're the one leading the movement, everybody after you is just after you, So
Hmm. Yeah. For reals.
yeah, 100%. What's up, Jakey? Hey guys, if you guys are enjoying the conversation and you are in the chat, there's like 50 something of you. I don't think there's 50 likes. In fact, I bet there's not even 30. Let me check right now. Let's see what we got. We got 25 likes. All right, let's see if we can get to 50, 100%. That would be lit. That would be lit. All right.
75 likes and I'll pull somebody out of the 75 likes and 75 comments. I'll pull somebody out of the comments and send you ETH to buy a Ledger or hardware wallet.
Oh
So slap
shit.
that like button, put a comment down. What's your favorite project? What project are you excited to mint in February? Whatever it might be, just leave a comment, hit the like button. If we get 75 on both, I'll send somebody ETH to buy a Ledger.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, you fucking heard it. Austin says, let's go. What's up, Austin? I appreciate it. Oh, man, they're pumped about that. Thank you. What was I going to say? With when you started Cryptoon, so that was back in, what was it, November when you guys launched, right? Something like that?
October.
October. Do you
Yeah.
remember what it was like in the end? Because I remember this is the question I wanted to ask in the beginning, and I got sidetracked. What was the vibe back when you right when you guys were launching? What was the NFT vibe at that moment? Because every 2 or 3 weeks, it's a completely different. There's a different trend. There's a different style of person in NFTs. Different kind of narrative about NFTs every couple of months. Do you remember what the narrative was when you guys were launching?
Yeah, more derivatives than what you're seeing now. I feel like that was the
Damn.
narrative. Like the amount of derivatives that were out, at least that's what I felt. And I think that's why something so fresh like the Goonz was just like, what? Yes, finally, like something original. Like somebody
Yeah.
is passionate about something again. Like here we go. An artist who doesn't is not here to just make quick ETH. Like he wasn't even expecting to make an ETH, you know? He was like, yeah, maybe 10 of these will sell and it'll be sick or whatever, right? So
Mm.
um but yeah, I think the narrative then was just like just as cash grabby as it is today, in all honesty, like that hasn't changed. I think right now you're seeing people really, really leverage their influence. And that's maybe the narrative today where like maybe that wasn't as high a couple months ago, but in all honesty, it was too. It's just a
Yeah.
different, it was just different. So
True. What do you guys have anyone in the team? Because this is something I have mentioned in some of my videos for big companies when they come into the NFT space. Like we had like Nike or Adidas acquire CloneX. I think it was Nike. Um, when they do that, I think they need to be hiring someone who's not doing degen stuff, but is actively in Twitter, actively in NFT Twitter, and not just NFT Twitter for your project, but to know what's going on in the NFT space. Because a lot of projects will make dumb mistakes because they just didn't spend a couple $100 to talk to some people who are in the space doing it right or not doing it right, who are just in the know. Because if you're in a project, for example, if you're Doge Pound and everything you do is Doge Pound, everything your supporters do is Doge Pounds, then like you're only cultivating that, which is great, but you're also missing a whole sector of people that don't know about Doge Pound. And you also might make a mistake and do something that the entire NFT space hates right now because maybe there was some FUD or a project did it and it was bad and left a sour taste. And you guys go and do that for your own project, and you couldn't, and you maybe wouldn't have done it if you were paying attention. Do you guys think that's important to have someone who's in there doing the dirty work? Is that something you guys all kind of contribute? Do you like hire someone to do that for you, or?
yeah, I would say that we're all pretty active. We're all degenerates at heart. Myself, Jesse, Joel, Drew, Sean, Chris,
Yeah.
Sang. I mean, you, BK, like you name it. Like we're all degenerates at heart, and we're all actively involved in investing and holding and seeing what is out there. So like I would say we all kind of contribute to that because a big thing for us, a big part of utility of holding like a goon is some of the utility that comes with it is getting access to some of these allow list spots. But
Mhm.
we're not just like the DMs that we get of just like, hey, we'd love to give you 100 allow
Yeah.
list spots for our upcoming, soda punk ape
Yeah. You're like,
mutant
thanks,
whatever,
man.
right? Like,
That helps me out
yeah,
so much.
so it's just like whatever. But like things that we do, we're able to get a bunch of alien friend allow list spots for
Mm.
our holders, or Wonder Pals, or Star Catchers, or Rubber Duck, Bath Party. Like those are the ones where we are. I'm having Zoom meetings with these founders. It's like I'm not just giving allow list to our community where I think I at least want to make sure that like there's a little bit of due diligence behind us just raffling away these spots. And like, have
Yeah.
there been some busts? Absolutely, man. The first one that comes to mind is
Oh boy.
the the cool brick with what were the Lego cats, dude? And I was just like,
The
damn it,
Lego
dude.
cats.
I don't
Didn't hear
even
about that
know. It
one.
was like dude, it was just like, and I even had a bad feeling out of the gate. And I was just like, everyone in the community wanted the spots though. And I was like, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. I guess I'll just do it. And so
Well, that's
like,
the thing.
yeah,
Some people want that. You got it. You're like, oh fuck, if you want it, like I guess I got it. But
that's what it was. And it was kind of
right.
the same thing with pops as well.
Mhm.
It's just like, okay, if y'all really want it, like I'm not minting, but like go for it.
Yeah.
And like, sorry, this isn't to like FUD a project or two, but it's like
Mhm.
to answer your question, like, yes, we're all very, very actively involved in the overall community. I sit in Twitter spaces all the time. I'm always in the Fractional Friday Twitter spaces. I did one last night. Sometimes I just do my own random ones. So like I think that's a great way. And honestly, like when I lift, when I work out, I just put on a random Twitter space and just listen. Like I treat it like it's a podcast. And like that is like relative information to me. So that's how we kind of all stay actively involved and just ensuring that like we're not missing something or we're being different or ensuring that. But a big part of it too is like we have a vision. Like I've built a couple online companies before. Jesse has worked for massive corporations from HBO and Disney. He knows what it's like to hire and scale and build a brand. So like I'm not overly concerned about what a lot of other people
Yeah.
are doing too, right? Like
Right.
we're very excited about the vision and the mission statement and the brand that we're building and the way that we are doing it. But
Mhm.
yeah, like our CMs are amazing. Like shout out to Sang and to BK for like doing a lot of due diligence on other brands and projects before we kind of offer them out as alpha, if you will, to our
Yeah.
holders.
Hell yeah, dude. Do you have any advice for people who want to get started in something in Web3, something with NFTs, but like they got nothing. They're like, bro, I'm a DGen. I hold 2 or 3 projects that rugged me and 1 decent project. That's about all I got to offer. What is the next step to be able to jump on a team or to be able to contribute or offer value? What is the first step, do you think?
Well, I think the first step is one, slow down. You cannot always be on you can't always be on. You can't be on all the time. It's not possible to be operating at 100% all of the time. So if you're grinding 17 different allow lists, having your significant other do art for you for some community collaboration so you can try and get it, and trying to be in a Twitter space all while monitoring your own portfolio, like slow down. Find the people who have been involved in this space who aren't just here to pump their own bags. So find something that you're passionate about that will make you care and make you want to learn. I put that back up. I just saw it. What did that say?
Was it Bryce? Hold on.
Yeah,
There you
learn
go.
as much as you can about what you actually care about. Work for projects that you actually care about for free. I'm pretty sure like that's pretty sound advice. Find something that you are passionate about. Don't be passionate about making 100 ETH.
Yeah.
That's not passion. Like be passionate about what that project might be doing or offering and
Mhm.
go learn.
Yeah.
Go be in the Discord and start as a mod and work your way up. Both of our community managers were mods straight out of the gate, and
Yeah.
both of them did community management things without even having to be asked. And they did it for probably
Exactly.
too long. They
Exactly,
did it
dude.
for
Well,
probably too long. We should have offered them a
exactly.
job
Yeah.
maybe a month earlier. So like
Dude,
BK and Chris,
that's
thank
awesome.
you.
That is fucking awesome. Bryce is actually my community. He's my trial community manager, which is funny. He literally did that. He was in my Discord. It was funny when I first like connected with him. It was on a TikTok live I was doing. He was being an asshole in the comment section. He just said something sarcastic every time I did anything. He roasted me, and I was like, dude, who the fuck is this guy? So I went and like out of spite followed him back and like was gonna just be like, what's up, and just see like if he was gonna be mean or if he was cool or if he was trying to get my attention or what it was. And he ended up being really cool. He ended up, I kind of forgot about it. I started doing more YouTube lives. He was always in there. He was always commenting. But then he started saying stuff that was kind of helpful. And so I would pop his comments up on the thing. Like, oh, this guy's dope. And then I was like seeing him in the Discord a lot, saw his name pop up. And I was like, oh, there's Bryce again. There's Bryce again. He's answering questions. He's telling people with this. He's telling people with that. And after 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, I DM'd him. I was like, yo, dude, keep this shit up. I don't know where it's going, but keep this shit up. And 3 weeks after that, I DM'd him. I was like, hey, you want to be a trial community manager? And then now he's got his in. And so that is incredible advice. And shout out Bryce.
Shout out Bryce for sure.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes it's hard to separate the noise in the space, dude. Like
Mhm.
you'll go into an alpha channel and it's just people pumping their own bags. It's not real alpha. Like
Yeah.
real alpha is like 5 to 6 sentences on who the founders are, why their roadmap is actually real and what it means, and why you think that this art is currently in, right?
Mhm.
Like I just like that. Real alpha just isn't like, oh, volume's up, I'm buying. Like, bro, anyone can see. Like, that's not real. Like,
Yeah.
a doxed team. Who gives a shit? I don't care if their team, just because they're doxed isn't a checkbox. It's,
Yeah.
oh, they're doxed. Now let me go click on their profiles and do some actual due diligence and
Hmm.
go, oh my gosh, look at that. He actually helped found this and exited that. And oh wow,
Hmm.
he was a head of marketing at Canva for 3 years. And okay, wow, okay, real entrepreneurial here. Great. Oh, look at that. Like, let me click on his freaking public wallet and see what he's buying and holding and selling and look at the transactions coming in and out. This takes 20 minutes, but nobody wants
Yeah.
to spend 20 seconds. They just want to be fed something in a Discord channel. Like, do the work, and
100%, dude.
you'll literally you'll start building capital, and then you can buy doodles at 6 ETH.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, "Oh, I'm priced out of everything." I'm like, "You're priced out of everything because you're blowing all this ETH on random mints that you saw on some random alpha channel when it's just people
Yeah.
pumping their own bags trying to see if they can get it." So like, doxed is good, but just doxed isn't a checkbox. Go actually research who the founders are.
100%. It might drop. Docs is necessary. It's not. Yeah. It's not a. It's not a. It's not a flex if you're doxed. That's a given. You should be doxed. If you're not, if you're anonymous, I put it on Twitter. I was like, if you're anonymous, you're a pussy. I was like, you're trying to start a business and you're asking people to give you money, millions of dollars sometimes, and you're not even going to tell them your name and you're not going to put your name on. That's like what a business is. That's what entrepreneur is. It's taking the risk, and now you don't have to because people are willing. Because that's the problem with the when you're in a bull run, anyone can start a project, and the problem is if it gets enough hype, people know that, well, I can flip this for a 3x or 4x, and it's like, well, yes, but that means you have to give these people all your money. So if you want to flip and participate and people want to make money, then you got to give these people money, and a lot of times they're anonymous, and a lot of times we see soft rugs where it's like they don't do anything wrong, they just kind of like disappear after a few months, and you're
Yeah,
like, where the hell did that project
fizzles
go?
out. Fizzles out for sure.
100%, dude.
And people don't think long term enough. Like, people long term to people in this space is 4 days, and it's just like, why don't you try holding a token for 4 months and see what happens? You know,
Exactly,
like,
dude.
let's.
Exactly. Well, back in the day, like this was back in the summer. It's like one of the first calls I ever made where I was like, "Yo, hell yeah, I actually maybe I'm onto something here." Is when Jungle Freaks happened. I don't know if you heard about that project. They had
Yeah,
everybody
Trozly.
was
Yeah.
talking about them. Yeah, everyone was super excited, and I remember I made a video because people were asking me about to do a review, and I did a little bit, and I did a little bit of research. I wasn't able to find what the FUD was, which was essentially that he allegedly had made some, or not alleged, he had made some racial art a long time ago. People found out, they were like not cool with that, and so basically they got canceled. And since then, I think there's been some development. I don't even know. But anyways, when I made that project review, all the big influencers were saying blue chip vibes, blue chip vibes. This is a blue chip. This is a blue chip. And I remember watching, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if this gives me blue chip vibes. Like maybe, but I mean, the artist is cool, I guess. He's got a little bit of experience. I was like, I'm not sure what people are saying when they're saying he's a legendary artist. And I was like, look, I don't know. Maybe do some more research. And 2 weeks later, the FUD hit, and everyone goes, oh, well, we all knew that he was this. And I was like, well, if you knew, where were you 2 weeks ago when they were minting? And that's the 20-second little research that I even didn't follow through at that point. And that's when I really started toward the end of the summer, not toward the end of the summer, probably like in the fall, when I started to realize that like these NFT projects are part of full blown businesses. And when I talked to Greg Norman, who was the CEO of Jupiter Project, who launched Booty, and I spoke to him, and I realized, oh, this is a legitimate entrepreneur businessman with 20 years of experience in the traditional world. This is kind of required almost if you're going to have a successful project. And that's when I realized, oh shit, we need to really ramp up the research here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What's up? Where'd it go? Yeah, a lot of straight up failures too. It's insanely hard and stressful, and they give up. Yeah, people don't realize. This is one of the last questions I had for you, Ryan. Was that how hard did it compare versus what you thought maybe before, for the amount of work you're putting in and how much stuff it takes to launch this?
Yeah. Do you still have our price action chart up? Do you still have our
Yes,
activity
yeah, I can
on
pull it
OpenSea? Would love to tell a story about what dark and stressful times look like.
up. Let's do it. This is your
Yeah.
all-time chart right here.
Yeah. So if you go to like the end of December right there. Like, yeah, like right there. I think our
Hmm.
floor was like point 0.2.
Damn.
Like it was, which look like great. People who minted, like whatever, they're still up. But like there was definitely some times where it was like very like, are we listening? You have to
Yeah.
listen to yourself and like understand that like, look, this is a really great metaphor. Damn, I don't know where I saw this. So shout out to whoever put this on Twitter. And I literally read it today, but it's like you don't you don't plant a seed and then dig it up every day to see how it's
Hmm.
doing, right? You have
Yes.
to be patient and let it grow. And it's that is the same thing that I kind of felt during that dip, was just like, damn, am I actually doing it right here? Is the vision that I've kind of outlined and everything that Sean has worked on and that Jesse and Joel have been doing, like, are we, is this right? Are we on the right track? And then, we continue heads down, keep building,
Hmm.
make some adjustments, got great time or great feedback from our community, made a couple adjustments on just like keeping people involved, and communication is being very, very key. But like really just understanding that what we're working on is right, and being patient. And I think we're seeing that slowly start to pay off now too. So not to say we could dip back down to point 0.3 in 2 days, because that's the
Yeah.
NFT space, right? But we're very, very confident in the brand and the products that we're building. We love our community. We have a very strong community. One of the great perks of that slow mint out is like you build a very,
Yep.
very strong community who's buying for the art and buying for the sense of community, which we have. It's amazing. So,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
100%. I had one. This, I guess, this will be one of the last like bigger questions. So Ghost Dog says, ask him more about the portal. I know you went pretty fucking in depth on this on your Twitter space AMA, but if you want to like say something, you can. Otherwise, we can just send him to the AMA.
No, no, yeah. Well, like I guess what's the question? Because like what we're doing is non-dilutive V2. So most of the time, a project will release some new collection of, whatever, another 10,000 pieces. And that is new art. And typically it's a serum or whatever. Now it's mutated, right? Like whatever. I'll
Hmm.
choose the BAYC example because was extremely successful. And then other projects kind of just run that same playbook, right? And so like, I don't think that's right for every project. I do think it's right for some projects for sure. Like what Mason and Pape are doing over at Alien Friends, I think it's great. Like they have a relatively high entry point, like I think they were like 4 ETH or something when they announced that. And so like,
Yeah.
or maybe they announced it and then it ran up to 4 ETH, but either way, it was kind of like a high entry price. And it's a great way to get more people in the community at a lower entry price. You give them a serum and they can mint or like whatever it might be. For us, the portal itself is like the way that it works is, imagine you send your goon through the portal, but really all you're doing is actually just locking it in a contract, okay? But when you send your goon through that portal, it comes out something totally different. It could come out looking like some insane mutated goon. It's not going to. I'll tell you that right
Right.
now. Um, but it could, or it could come out sitting on a go-kart, and we announce that we're
Oh
doing a
man.
PDE racing game, right? So like,
Hmm.
or it could come out as a traditional PFP where it's kind of like, the waist up, and we change the
Hmm.
art and we add new traits and you get like downloadable content. So, let's say one of the traits is like a studded body is a trait of one of the goons. We
Hmm.
could kind of turn studded body into something totally different, but on a play of studs. It could be like a studded belt, like a punk rock studded belt or something, right? Like I don't know. I'm literally just riffing off the top of my head. Or like the the joints could turn into a bong. I don't know. You know what I'm
Bro, if
saying? Like it
don't
could.
play with me. Do not play with me. If that
I'm
happens,
just saying, yeah. It
that
it
would be
allows
awesome.
us it allows us to let our holders experience their goon in a totally different way. That could be through new traits, that could be through downloadable content. Um, and you can always send your portal, or excuse me, you can always send your goon back through the portal and get your original one back, right?
That's
So
cool.
like
That's a really cool feature.
yeah, you're not burning. We're keeping the collection at 6,969.
Mhm.
Funny side note, I accidentally, quote unquote, burned 2 of them by sending them to a wallet that I don't have
No.
the keys
Damn.
to. Yeah, that was a funny mistake
RIP.
early on. I just doing too much at once.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's 2 that are actually burned, which is fine. Nobody can have them. They're just sitting on the ether.
Or
Um,
someone's gonna find it one day and be like, "Oh shit, I'm a holder."
no, it's a wallet that I that I happen to have the seed
Oh,
phrase to
oh
it. I
no.
did it. Yeah, I made a
Damn.
dummy. We were doing a demo video on YouTube on how to
Yeah.
send, on how to use a hardware wallet, and so I was
Yep.
sending them to this
Gotcha.
random wallet, the MetaMask that I had created. So like it's just totally
Shit.
was super funny. Just wasn't thinking when I was doing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, you don't burn your goon, and you can always send your goon back through the portal and get your original goon back. And what that really makes us do, yes, Clay, it's just wrapped ETH. Okay, so it's very very similar to what Doodles is doing. But we're doing it differently. Like with Doodles, you're getting this like cool animated spaceship, and that spaceship is going to have different traits, different speed, horsepower, different
Mhm.
art on it, things along those lines. And I imagine that team will then maybe this. I'm speculating to oblivion right now. Maybe they're going to allow you to race that, right? Like I think that would be the next play for them in 6 or 8 months as they continue to build out some sort of indie type game. They have like $10 million sitting in their doodle bank, right? So like they have the ETH to do it for
Mhm.
sure, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that allows us to in 7 or 8 months kind of do new art, a new experience, but you keep your original goon. And at any given moment, maybe in 5 years there's like 19 different portals that you could send your goon to. So imagine a new holder buying and getting to experience all of this new arts again, right? Like it's just
So cool.
it's really cool, and it allows us to adapt to what the
Mhm.
future holds. Like some art style might be like super popular. Well, maybe we kind of do an iteration on that. Or like what would be really cool is like, what if we partner with this amazing artist? Like what if we go partner with Vinny
Mhm.
or insert amazing artist here, and we have them do the new collection, right? We have them do a new portal art
Yeah.
iteration. So Sean, and it's this amazing collaboration. It just opens up the doors for so many possibilities that doesn't dilute the original 6,969 collection and keeps the value of those NFTs hopefully up and to the right.
Dude, that's actually hella profound. When you were saying that, I had already known about this portal thing, and I'm actually glad you said it again because you just explained it and it unlocked another part of me. And this is one of the reasons that I was such a big fan of your brand of the Crypto Goons, because I noticed that you guys care about certain things that I care about that are core values to my brand, which is you want to make life more exciting. You want to be that project and the brand where people wake up and if they have nothing else, they got the goon squad to go in and say sup, good morning, and be like
Yeah.
excited and stuff like that. And that's actually way more of a problem that I found is that people wake up and genuinely some people just they don't have anything to look forward to. They got work, they come home, they get drunk or smoke weed, or sit around, watch Netflix, and they just don't have anything exciting. And like NFTs are that way to solve the problem. And certain brands and projects who are focusing on that are going to be able to fill that gap for them. And I love that. And so for my project, I have my 20 NFTs and then 26 NFTs for my second collection, but it's a photography set. And so I know that art is subjective. So my goal was to do some kind of burning mechanism thing where you can, do this and swap it out for another NFT. Because there was a bunch of photography pictures that were just as good. They just didn't make the cut for whatever reason. And I was thinking of just like burning them and having you be able to swap it. But now that you say that little portal version where it's like, no, you can always go back. But if you feel like having something new, if you feel like some kind of update, maybe in the future I use my Procreate skills to add on top of the photography and you're able to swap them in and out. I actually like that idea way better because my biggest fear was burning the original NFT because I don't want to burn it. I don't want it to just go to oblivion.
Right.
And so I'm
right.
actually pumped that you said that because I'm probably going to use some aspects of that. So I'm going to be definitely watching that closely. That is super cool.
Yeah, wrapped ETH is really, really, really rad. But
Yeah.
I will say, like, there's a whole game theory behind burning tokens too. It's very
I know,
fun. It's
yeah.
very
Yeah, it
gamble.
is
It's
fun.
very
Yeah.
risky, right? What is different though is as funny as I actually have a big photography background. The only reason I like passed high school was because I took photography and fell
Let's
in love with
go.
it. I've got my Fuji X Pro 2 sitting right there, and
I'm a Sony
I don't know if
guy.
you can.
I'm a Sony guy, but I
Yeah,
love Fuji.
Sony's
Yeah.
great. I've got a photo that I
Hell
took
yeah.
right behind me. So like, burning photography, I think is actually totally different than burning like a PFP art, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, you don't want to. It's beautiful. You don't want to burn that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like,
That's
but yeah,
tough.
the wrapped ETH is really cool. So we're very excited to be implementing that and introducing it as part of our identity and part of our collection going forward, and what we're doing with our brand. So
Yeah, 100%. Well, listen, dude, as we bring this episode to a close, it was awesome talking. I have a couple of questions for like a speed round that I like to do. If you're down for
yeah,
that, okay.
always fire.
All right, all right. Well, actually, hold on. Matt said, "Do I think do we think a 10% royalty should be normalized for lots of derivatives for 10% royalty?"
Assuming every project starts using this method for derivatives, should 10% royalty be normalized? Well, I'm gonna it's not derivatives where you're not
Yeah,
gonna see punk goons coming out with like punk traits, right? Like we're not
yeah.
we have no intentions of doing like derivatives like that unless we work with Larva Labs or we work with Yugo or whoever it might be, and there's like a collaborative
Mhm.
partnership. I could see something like that, but like we're never and ever
Yeah,
gonna just like punk ape goon doodle.
yeah.
So like, but the 10% royalty fee, I actually would love to talk about that. People knock
Sure.
on like royalty fees being higher, and it's like, um, why? That's how the artist is getting paid. So like,
Mhm.
to me, it's like, yeah, I'm glad that like there's not like some 30 or 40 or some insane percent royalty, but like anywhere between like 5 and 10%, like I don't have an issue with that. We do 7.5%, but 2.5% actually goes back to the community wallet.
Mhm.
So we only take 5% as a team, and then that 5% goes all back into the project right now as well.
Mhm.
But like Smiles is I think 8%. So like I don't think it's that big of a deal that like artists and teams are taking an extra 2% or whatever. They got to put food on the table. They're looking to really build their brand out, and that percentage goes back into building the brand too. Not all of that goes back into their pockets. Like, does some
Mhm.
of it? Sure, but the more money that they get to spend on the brand, you got to spend money to make money. So the more money that they're getting to spend on the brand should hopefully also increase the value of your tokens and your NFTs as well.
Yeah, I have a very similar outlook on that. I agree. I think I have no problem with people getting royalties. I think you need to, and I think if you invest in the right people and teams, they're going to use that money for the brand anyway. Like I told I forget who I told, and I was telling them how much I was making per month, and they were like, "Why are you still living at home? Like with your parents?" And I was like, "Bro, because I don't fucking have access to that money. I spend it on the shit that I need to spend it on. Like it's not like I'm going blowing money on cars. Like I want this brand to
Right.
be here in 20 years. So you got to use that money and put it to work. Like whether that's investing
Yep.
in crypto stuff, or if you're investing and you're buying something for the brand, or whatever it ends up being. I think the royalties are no problem. So I agree with your point there. Okay, speed round. Here we go. You've been married 13 years, you said, right?
Yeah, I think.
The hell's the secret? Why are we all single? Why can't we be married like Ryan? Why can't we have love? That's not a question I'm
Uh,
personally asking, of course. Probably not, maybe.
yeah, for a friend, right? Um, yeah, look, I think I fell in love very early on and just made a commitment. I don't think enough people are patient enough. I don't think enough people want to be vulnerable. I don't think enough people want to go through the tough shit and that's where people get scared. So I would encourage you to truly be vulnerable and go through tough shit with other people, and that will bring you closer. So
Hell yeah,
I
man.
think that's the secret, just being vulnerable, straight up.
Fire. Hell yeah. Yeah, be vulnerable. Especially because with guys, I feel like we have trouble verbalizing certain concepts, so we just don't say anything and then get mad that they didn't read our mind. And so I definitely think, yeah, 100%. Someone,
Yeah, we
Logan
suck at
says,
communicating.
why is he so buff and handsome? Because the man eats fucking protein. He goes to the gym.
And Nick Bear
Nick there.
Performance Nutrition.
Okay. Okay. We have your least favorite job that you've ever worked.
Oh, I know the answer to this right off the top of my head. So
Let's go.
I had just left. I was like managing a skate park. I was actually managing the Etny skate park in Southern California, and had decided to let all of my homies skate after hours. So we turned on the lights and we had the park to ourselves. And
Nice.
long story short, got let go. And I was like, shit, I need a job now. So I took this temp job working at an assembly factory where I was literally working in an assembly line, putting together the parts for um, like plumbing products that you would find, like bathroom essentials, like the stuff in your tank in your toilet. You know how it's like the little, you like flush and the arm comes up
Yeah,
and there's
dude.
a chain or whatever.
I've
Dude, I
had
was
to
like
fucking put my
assembling.
hand down there so
Yes,
many times.
yeah, bro, same. I did that for 2 days and was like, I can't do this anymore. So I'd like real job. If we're talking about getting a paycheck, like real
Yeah.
job, that was probably the worst real job that I had. But if you think about it, whatever, bro, you just put headphones in and like put shit
Yeah.
together. But I was like, nah, I can't do this. I need to be like active and passionate and doing something. So for me, that was no bueno.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, that probably subconsciously got you to be like, yeah, I'm never doing that shit again. Because when I got my like
Maybe.
one of my worst jobs was I was probably a teenager somewhere in high school, and I worked like a cashier job at a grocery store. And I remember sitting there, and I remember like vividly sitting there in my register line with nothing to do, and my manager's like, just go stand there and talk to people. And I was like, why? They're like, just ask them how. I was like, oh my God, I'm literally wasting my life away. Like I'm sitting here like giving you my
Yeah.
time and I'm doing nothing. I'm not providing any value. This sucks. And so I think that kind of experience though early on is good because you get to just be like, nah, I'm not doing
You
that.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you learn.
Okay. Two questions. One last or second to last one. Why Texas?
I took a job out here with a startup in Austin. So
Gotcha.
I left Southern California to actually move to Dallas for 2 years, where I was working with Apple and I was leading all of their training. So I was doing their hiring and leading did market training for that specific market. And then that is technically what brought us to Texas. And I was like, I got to get out of Dallas. Like growing up skating and surfing on the beach was just like, why the fuck did I just move to Dallas? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like this was not my culture. Fell in love with the city of Austin and planted roots here with the wife and kids. And we've been here for almost 8 years. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people are coming to Texas right now. You guys have been there for a while. It seems like Texas is the place to be. Tell me what the humidity is there, because I've thought about Texas too, because everyone seems to love Texas. I'm not a huge fan of heat and humidity. I don't think Texas
don't
could
move
work for
here
that
then.
reason then. Okay. That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
don't move here.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay. Last question. You have a very similar charisma to Frankie Nines a little bit from Subduck. I don't know. I think you may be friends with him. I think
I
you have
know
a
Frank. Yeah,
similar,
yeah.
yeah. I think you have a similar charisma to him. That is pretty rare, honestly. Like it's just cool. You're confident. You know your shit. You know what you're worth. Can that be learned? Is that only built through time doing your shit, or how does someone go from maybe who's a little bit more introverted, or maybe they are as charismatic as you, just maybe aren't able to verbalize it to the public? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I think it comes with failure. I think failing a lot, over and over and over again. I mean, I'm talking about working a job in my, you know, 20, like I was married and had a 9-month-old child at the time, working like in an assembly line at a factory for like minimum wage. So I think like just failing and learning from that failure and really identifying your strengths. And it's not just failing a lot, it's learning from that failure. And I know it's so cliche, and I know so many
Yeah.
people say that, but I think there's a reason why you see people who might be in a successful spot, or at least look like they're in a successful spot saying that. But it's just that confidence comes from failing and then winning. Once you start winning, you really start to gain confidence. And so no, I don't I'm not, I think it's taught a little bit, but it's 100% time. There's the 30 under 30 list that you see on Forbes and stuff, like those are outliers. Those are the 0.01%.
Yeah.
And those are the people who like started failing in high school and recognizing and were very driven,
Exactly.
right? And they're just 10 years ahead of everyone. Like there's very, very there's a lot of outliers in that sense of that 30 under 30. So like don't get caught up in that comparing yourself to people. Like just keep building, keep your head down, build quietly. Like I used to post on Instagram all the time, like my workout progress and stuff. And then all of a sudden I was like, dude, why the fuck am I posting this? Like,
Exactly.
I just build, like, no, just shut up and work, type of mentality type stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
Christian
I
Guzman
also,
style, bro. Just put in the fucking hours.
yeah, man. And so, yeah, I think it really just comes with time and with failure.
Was that your mentality also when you were like late 20 or late teens, early 20s? Were you also thinking with that mindset, or were you in a totally different headspace?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I was at a 9-month-old kid. My daughter was like 9 months old at the age of 20. And um so I think I was put into a position where like failing wasn't necessarily an option. Uh
Hmm.
and so like when I did fail, it was like, what's next? How do I learn from that? How do I move? I have real shit that I have to take care of. So like I think that was a big, and I don't know if I recognized that at the time, but I think looking back, maybe I saw that, or I can see that now in myself and just understanding. Like that took me a minute too, man. I used to drink myself to sleep every night. Like I mean, it was just like a lot of learning and failing and growing, surrounding yourself with good people, being passionate, Chumbawamba, being passionate about things and finding that passion and continuing to just push and pursue. So
Dude, Ryan Hodge, everybody, fucking round of applause. Thank you so much for being on. It was a pleasure talking to you.
thanks, man. I appreciate it. Very, very fun show. So you'll definitely have to have me on again if you're ever looking for
Oh
a
yeah,
guest.
100%, dude. I'd love to get you on. I'd love to get anyone who's on the team. I'm a big fan of the brand. I love you guys. So whenever you guys want, down to set something up. Guys, if you haven't already, smash the like button. If we get to 75, there's what was it, some kind of ledger thing. But either
Yeah.
way, we all appreciate you guys being in here, especially if you made it to the end of the stream. If you made it all the way to the end, if you stayed all the way from the beginning to the end, we love you guys. Either way, if you're here right now, you're watching this live, code word is going to be Goonz, just all caps. Just throw Goonz in the chat. What should we do?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? What's code word?
Oh, code words just so I know who made it to the end, who's like actually here
Oh,
watching
got
the
it.
videos.
Yeah, Goonz. Yeah.
Goons all the way to the end. Hell yeah, guys! Thank you so much for being in here again, Ryan. That was super fun. I hate saying goodbye. Like goodbyes are my big. I never know what to do to like wrap it up. So yeah, man, just super inspirational. Just killing it, dude. Killing it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Super fun to be on.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Goons in the chat. We'll see you guys all later. Until next time, continue on your Joyage. Continue to learn. If you're grateful you're alive, watch.